Hello and welcome everybody. We have the Global Lab patch notes on December 19th, 2025. The ones after Seraph release, and we already have the first few Seraph changes coming in. So starting off, the Sacred Oath, which is the angel form, Black Spirit sort of awakening skill, is surprisingly getting a 1.5% Black Spirit rage recovery of every 10 seconds. That is, to be honest, a bit surprising. Effectively, this will give her extra BSR recovery in her PvP form, or at least what is intended as the PvP form. Then we got the Flow Shoulder Strike. When using the skill, the character can now rotate towards the camera until the attack motion is complete. Similar thing on the on the Crush skill. On the Absolute Guilt, when released from the projection state, the Invincibility Judgment is applied instead of Super Armor, so you get Invincibility. Vanguard Pursuit, in the finishing move, if the terrain in front of the character... if there is terrain in front of the character that can be crossed, the Armor Crushing skill has been improved to not activate and to cross the terrain. On the Horizon Slash, which should be the angel form, the movement distance has been improved from normal to the movement distance when activated. On the Teaching the Race, if activated immediately after another skill, the movement distance has also been modified to be the same as when activated in place. And then the Teaching Ghost skill, after using the skill, the effect of the skill, Strong Will 2 has been improved to smoothly connect with the skills of the Dig and Slash, Shoulder Strike, Crush, and Combo Crush and Combo Crush, so probably two different crush skills. Then we have some general changes as well on Seraphim. An issue where the wings of the exclusive action of the Judgment costume remained when boarding a vehicle has been fixed. On the Condemnation, they fixed an issue where the PvP damage application ratio for the second hit of the skill, Bursting Hatred, was not displayed. Also on Condemnation, the description of the skill Scattered Violence did not include the description of the effect not being applied during the cooldown for all evasion reductions. And the issue with the effect of the skill Steadfast Will 2 was applied after using the skill Phantom Teaching, but the skill Combination Crush and Combination Crush were not linked with right-click input has been fixed, so overall an input issue. Then we have monster/world boss changes, which is the biggest thing. The spawn times for world bosses will be adjusted. It's also been changed so that only a maximum of 2 world bosses can appear at the same time. The world boss appearance schedule will be changed. This will be relevant on each server or update server. The following for weekly quests for the Atlanta Morning Light boss subjugations have been changed so that it can be no longer be accepted. If you have already accepted the quests or completed the quests but have not received the rewards when the official server is updated, you have to do the following measures. So if you are receiving a quest, the receiving quest will be abandoned. If you have completed but not received the reward, the quest completion reward will be paid to your Heidel warehouse. So this does seem to be that the Atlanta Morning Light bosses will also be killable multiple times throughout the week if you feel that way. The following loot has also been adjusted for the Land of Morning Light bosses. This is for Bogosal, Golden Peking, Uturi, and Sangoon. And they've added a new box, the box of Subtle Dark Predation, which is the blue failstack increaser, which allows you to obtain 2 to 5 of these, the Faint Dark Hungers. So overall, what we can see here, specified probability for the top 20 is the box and an origin directly, otherwise no big changes. There is also the Land of the Morning Light leader seal, which we'll see at the bottom. This is also given for the 21 to 50 contributors. 51 to 90% also gets 2. It still has a chance at the boxes. And if you're in the top 90 to 100, you only get the seals, but no chance at the hungers. So concerning the Land of Morning Light leader seal, it can be exchanged for other items in the Unified Goods UI, so our standard exchange, which pretty much shows a weekly exchange up to 4 times for the Primordial Spark, 8 for Primordial Crystals, and 1 100G gold bar, so that should be 10 mil per piece. So effectively, you can view it kind of as a trash loot. Otherwise, the Primordial Spark could be... Actually, I believe that is the translation. Let me check it in the background real quick. I don't actually have any. Oh, it's probably the Embers of Primordial, so if you are missing your Sovereign, that is a nice extra source for them. With the removal of the um, Ember from the drop table. There we go. The loot of the other four world bosses, Zarka, Nuva, Karanda, and Kutum, have also been adjusted. The amount and drop rate of loot has been adjusted, increasing loot rewards from each boss by approximately 75%, and the probability of the hardened or improved bosses has been increased by another 100% compared to before. So Nightmare Zarka, Bloodstorm Nuva, Stormbringer Karanda, and the Ancient Thundercloud Kutum. Additionally, when the kill contribution for the corresponding bosses is within the top 51 to top 90, the loot rewards have also been increased by 25% on these. Tiny change on hunting. A location marker has been added to help you easily check the location for boss monsters when they appear during the Narcion hunting. So overall, just a big ping. Small thing, but pretty nice. Then we have the contribution byproduct balance adjustments. So overall, this will be adjusted. So we have, for example, the unknown catalyst. The chance of getting the catalyst has been tripled. In the case of farming, based on crops occupying one square, so one plant, one square, the number of pink leaves obtained when breeding has been increased by 4 to 10 times, so 20 to 50 crops occupying 5 squares of garden. The yield of the leaves obtained from pruning and bug catching has been doubled as well. In the case of hunting, we're going to go into detail, so we'll skip hunting for a second. In the case of gathering, the Fairy's Breath has been tripled. In the case of mining, it's been increased by 3.5 times. Logging, it's also been tripled. Tanning and blood draw, also 3.5 times increase. And the number of discarded glass bottles has been quadrupled. Concerning hunting, we have some different adjustments for the drops. So overall, we have an increase of 3 times for all of these mobs. Then we have some other increases even by 6.5 times, which does include yaks, snowfield yaks as highlights. The hyena, surprisingly. Snowfield macaw. Then we have 9.5 increase on the Camasylvia mobs. That is a big increase considering you get quite a hit on your karma there. And then we also have a 22.5 times increase for all the really special mobs. So overall, the boss White Wolf, the giant brown bear that you can summon, the Emperor Griffin near Ash Forest, full rhinoceros, I believe, would be the Narcian spawn of the rhino, stag, the Shadow Wolf, and the Shadow Wolf line that spawn down there. And then we also have the increase of 125 times for the blue whales and fugitive calcs. So overall, these could yield quite a lot of Wildstar drops now. The one highlight is this one can be exchanged for. I'm gonna double check it, but I'm 99% sure there was sharps on the exchange. Yep, you can exchange them for black gem fragments. So if you ever need black gem fragments, that can be a nice increase for your black gem fragments gains. Then we have a new breed of wild horse incoming. So the mountains and fields of Black Desert have created a more favorable environment for wild horses to grow. So overall, we're getting the variation horses introduced a bit more. So we have tier 6 to 8. There will be a 10 times price sale for sale and imperial delivery for all of the horses. However, the growth rate is 2.5 times slower, so reaching level 15 will be harder, but if you catch it and it's above 15, you can immediately sell it. Then we also have another one that has a 7.5 times increase in price, but again, the 2.5 times slower growth rate. Then we also have appearing more frequently in tier 7 and 8. So we have a increase of the breeds. So they do have a high market value and a high number of matings. The number of matings is increased by up to 3 instead of the usual 1. So it is a little less than the one that allows 4 breeds. Growth rate is also stunted by 2.5 times. Then we also have another one that has 7.5 times the sale value with 3 mates, and again slower growth. And then we have one that has 5 times the price, but also 3 mates. Again, this is only for tier 7s and 8s that you catch. It can be quite nice, especially the tier 8. The slower growth is a bit annoying, but hey, you might get lucky with a high level catch. And then we also have a female male horse specialized in the growth of fine horses. This is for tier 8s only. So we have a, a horse that has instantaneous, the instant acceleration skill. Then we have one that has a lateral movement skill, or the sidestep. Then we have the other one that has the improved instant acceleration, I believe. Oh no, that also has the instant acceleration, but has double the growth rate. And then we have another one that has the sidestep with double the growth rate. Overall, when selling or delivering these mounts, effectively the ones above here, to the Imperial delivery, the prices for the skills they possess will remain the same as before. So overall, the skill value increase of the skills, usually the more skills the horse has, the more value it gains, remain the same as it was before. So these will not have extra value added to them just by having the skill. It will just make it easier for these to become coursers. Then we have the Snowfall Crasher field. We're having some changes done now prior to the big update. The main content should be releasing on the 24th as well, which should be next week already. But overall, there was not much else here. Overall, they will be sharing the information in the maintenance notice. So overall, we just have some improvements. So when you start, they've changed the board riding social action to now travel further when starting. They also changed to reach maximum speed faster when using acceleration. They've also added instant acceleration when pressing the F key after drifting. And without the addition of instant acceleration, a description of the skill has been added to the key guide. And they fixed some issues where you would occasionally float in the sky while riding air currents when jumping long distances. Then we have a small thing, the AOS Solari Hall of Fame pretty much is being set now, so the last season's winners are getting put on the pedestal, and you can go in any battle arena and interact with them for a 10% breath XP for 10 hours buff for 20 energy, which is always a bit nice. I usually grab it when I'm grabbing GM buffs anyway. Then we have some quests and knowledge. So there is something that is a bit surprising for the lore buffs. When completing the Serendia main quest with Seraph, a special dialogue will now be displayed to indicate that you are from Calphion. This is going to be in the Grand Chamberlain of Serendia, Secret Proposal, A Welcoming Look, and Glitch Returns. So if you are interested in this sort of tidbits, definitely hold off from continuing the main quest. Also, to ensure a smooth application of the update, any quests will be abandoned and you need to re-grab them. Some of the content of the prepared vessel knowledge has also been revised. Then they added the ability to obtain the following knowledge from each Ataraxian boss loot. This is the dagger knowledge in each of the dungeons. The amount of combat experience gained when completing the next main quest has been increased. So in the case of Medaya, Leader, Ancient Power Mogulis, or Elezer's Creature, the XP has been increased by 2.25 and 3 times. And also the quest conditions have been changed, so you must complete both volumes of the Adventure Log, Volume 2 of the Book of Margathan at the top of the new moon during the growth phase to achieve them. And if you've completed the Magnus Enlightenment, you can now proceed with the quest Magnus Abyss Enlightenment without having to acquire the knowledge price of help. Small thing for knowledge hunters, and also just in general, the locations of some wild animals near the Camisylvia Whitebush Forest, I believe that's just White Forest, have been changed. But the bigger thing is they've added a blue effect to unacquired terrain knowledge in the Mountain of Eternal Winter and Dregan regions. So if you have not been getting the knowledge there, you get this light effect that we've started to get used to during, well, Edania and also Land of Morning Light, I believe, had them. Overall, it's a really nice addition to help you figure out what might have knowledge. Then another bigger thing, we have the War of the Roses changes. So overall, the initial appearance of the Spirit of Altar has been changed to 45 minutes after the start. So this will mean that that buff won't happen until 45 minutes in. The monster damage reduction and monster damage reduction rate effects of the Spirit Protection effect, which can be obtained from the Spirit of Altar, have been reduced by 50%. The health of the elephants appearing in War of the Roses has also been reduced by 20%. The following changes have also been made to character resurrection. The cooldown required for quick resurrection has been changed from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. The amount of health restored during the quick resurrection has been increased from 20 to 40%. And the waiting time required for normal resurrections has been changed from 45 seconds to 30 seconds. The Commander-in-Chief's attack has also been changed to be able to hit enemies exceeding 10. Oh, okay, so you can attack more than 10 players. When the Camisovian faction destroys the Lightless Relic in the N1 Sanctuary, a powerful damage reduction effect is applied to Narshian when the Camisovian faction guard monster Uragon appears. The effect is removed when Uragon dies. Same thing for the Odalita faction. You need to destroy the S1 Sanctuary Lightless Relic. A powerful damage reduction effect is then applied to Sefer, and the Odalita faction guardian monsters Olin Colossus appears. The effect is removed when the Olin dies. Also, we have some reward adjustments with this. So for the leader and the commander guild, we have a slight increase in the gold bars, 7 passionate loot boxes with changed contents. We also have chilling fragments and the traces of Thunderbolt being increased. For the 3rd Legion, similar things. We have an increase of the lightning traces from 2 to 10. The chilling shards also going up to 20. Passionate loot boxes going from 4 to 5 with the changed contents. Otherwise, the gold bars remain the same. Then we have for actually winning, we have the passionate loot boxes also being changed from 5 to 6. Chilling shards and traces being increased for the Commander Guild. For the 3rd Legion, we have an increase of lightning traces as well from 2 to 7. Then we also have one for defeat, which is also increasing the lightning traces from 2 to 5 or 15 to 20, and the chilling 10 to 20. The chilling remains. Overall, the passionate loot boxes we'll get into in a second. So the contents of the passionate loot boxes obtainable from War of the Roses have also been changed. So the Imp Sword has been removed. The number of gold ingot chests that can be obtained has been changed from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 5. The enhancement grade of the Deboreka ring and all Deboreka accessories have been changed to obtain up to tri-grade. Same changes have also been made to the Passion Burning loot box, which can be exchanged for unified goods as token of Camisovia. So overall, some nice changes there. Here we should see... No, nothing too crazy, but the Imp Sword should be staying. And finally, we have some fixes and changes, just general certain characters and snowboarding, some Seraph and quest fixes, nothing too crazy, just visual bugs mostly. Then we have some issues on Edania armor being visually weird. So Edania's armor and certain costumes could not be displayed together in the character selection screen. Unnatural behavior when pressing A and D while snowboarding. Camera shake effect during the Coxpire's Meggy Meggy. Overall, nothing too crazy. Bigger thing for decorators, the issue where the wallpapers below could not be installed in residential areas has been fixed. So overall, all of these wallpapers will be fixed. Then there was some issues with the submenus not highlighting when hovering the mouse over them. And then for gamepad mode, there was some fixes for bloodstains would remain on the floor when hitting the mermaid statue. And they fixed some issues where menu icons were not displayed in certain situations. Nothing too crazy. With that, we go into the TLDR as usual for Global Labs. War of the Roses getting an overhaul, especially the traces increases. It's definitely a bit nice. For 3rd Legion especially, it means we can definitely get more traces for our Voltarions. The quest thing, absolutely great. I believe they should add this everywhere. I know it can be a bit much if you have this glow on every single location where you have knowledge, but to be honest, for interactable knowledge, it should be present. It definitely is very much needed. Then, quest and knowledge. I like the fact Seraph is getting some more love in the Serendia quest line. Also, AOS winners, congratulations. I'll definitely be grabbing the buff. Snowboard, okay. Looking forward to the event. I'm personally looking forward to it. It's always a bunch of fun. This is actually available year-round. You can already go now if you want to. The biggest factor is, I really love the fact we've done 2 events with this. Just who gets down fastest the mountain. Already a bunch of fun. Very simple events to do. Horses, also really great. Just expanding the types of horses. Overall, I'm looking forward to it. Just getting a random horse. The balancing, it feels a bit overtuned, especially considering that some of these have exchangeables to black gems. But at the same time, it is still pretty nice to see some changes there. World bosses, I like the fact that the old bosses are getting their reworks. The Land of the Morning Light bosses feels a bit overtuned. Especially if the translation, that I'm getting from the translation at least, that these will no longer be one time per week. If that is the case and they do spawn often enough, these might be worth it just for the hungers alone to build stacks overall, because either you get one or a 2 to 5. So in theory, you could, if you get lucky, get up to 6, well, weakened hungers. That is still pretty damn good. With any sort of proper gear, you should easily be able to reach the top 20 contributors, or even the top 50, or top 51 to 90%. I mean, up to that point, you generally manage to get a lot of extra bonuses. Probably the probability goes down, but should be fairly easy. Then we have Seraph changes. To be honest, the BSR increase on the PvP stance, well, what they consider the PvP stance, feels a bit hefty. At the same time, it could make her more valuable. I've heard some people saying it's kind of an issue trying to get into that form and having it available to you. 1.5% is nothing too small, but not too big. It's like an in-between. Definitely a bit of a surprise. But the fact that this is almost permanent, well, actually it is permanently active, it might even make it worthwhile to run this for PvE. Just to constantly have that uptime of the Black Spirit Rage recovery, considering all the bonuses that this Z-buff gives. So overall, I think this might be tuned back again, but we're going to see. And with that, I wish you the absolute best of luck with all your taps, if you still have any. And otherwise, there was also a small code recently, Festive Holidays. Make sure to grab that. And I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you around.